What was your life like day to day as a mom?
Day to day as a mom. All right, so
Like as a working mom, would you say you were like submissive to your husband? You were, yeah, all that? Because they always say I can't be submissive if I have to work, right? That's always the common.
So to answer your question, the answer is no, and I regret that. You asked if I was submissive to my husband, and that's why I started this community. You've heard about the Wives Club, but even though I grew up with very traditional values, I did get kind of caught up in that modern woman mindset, going to college and then going to graduate school, but for me it was really corporate America and being in that competitive environment. I thought it was 50-50. I thought I could do everything a man could do. I thought I could do it until I was 65, until I hit the wall. And when you put yourself in that position where you become the breadwinner, it's natural that you think that, no, we're going to do this. And when I got divorced, my ex-husband actually said, well, I thought you were driving this bus.
Wow.
And that was a really hard lesson for me. So since the divorce, I've been in a long-term relationship with kind of like a 1% kind of guy, which means for me, I've had to do a lot of work to change from that 50-50 modern mindset to being more of a traditional support system. And I couldn't be happier, but I have bumped my knee and bumped my head and skinned my knee.
Are you still working?
I am, but now I'm working from home, and it was actually his idea. And I remember, so I had that big corporate job in the office before the pandemic, and when we all got sent home for a couple weeks to sit this thing out, I was one of those itching to get back, right? I was trying to go for that promotion. I was always trying to go back for that next thing. And when I ended up being home for all those, 2 years, I realized I love it. I don't have 2 hours on the road. I can finish my last Zoom meeting of the day and make a nutritious meal for the kids. I was so happy, and I started thinking, I don't want to go back. But then you wrestle with that natural instinct of wanting to be home and be nurturing, and then that programming of get to work, get to work, get to work. And my guy actually said, why don't you look for something that lets you stay at home? You're happier, you're healthier, it's better for you. And I actually took offense to that, kind of thinking, oh, you just want me to stay at home? You don't want me to get the promotion? And I went for a job that I didn't get, and I said, well, I guess I'm stuck at home, but it's been the best decision ever.
I feel like sometimes guys say things to look out for us, but we don't always think of it that way, because we're like, well, why can't I do what I.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the men in our lives, I've heard you talk a lot about your dad and your brothers. What I have learned with men, they're not going to say anything if they don't care. A lot of times we think, oh, they're telling me don't go here or don't do this, and we're thinking, you can't tell me what to do. But if men really don't care, they don't say anything. They will walk right past it and say, not my problem, not my family. So when you have a man who's trying to tell you something, it's because he cares.
Wow.
Yeah.
I never thought about it like that. That's true.
Yeah, because men, especially high value men, they don't have time to waste. Even in relationships, my guy's only going to tell me 1 or 2 times, and then he's going to stop talking. So I have to figure it out, and I have to listen and get on the program. But it's so much better when you just happily submit, but you have to choose the right one to submit to.
So how did you find him? Where'd you get? Well, I can't imagine. So how old were you when you got divorced?
Okay, so I met my ex-husband at 18. He was my college boyfriend, the only boyfriend I had in college, and then we got married right after. And it was one of those things where we've been together this long, it was the next logical step. Great guy, excellent dad. I don't take anything away from him. And I was married for 10 years, and I absolutely love being married, and I would remarry again. But the marriage did end up in divorce because you can't have, two people leading.
Two drivers, yeah.
So in my 30s, I actually reconnected with someone from childhood, and what it showed me, 2 things. Number 1, never burn a bridge, because you never know where life is going to take you. And then, how Kevin Samuels always used to say men need those 10 years to kind of be heads down and eat what, because they have to build themselves. The adult version of him is so much different and so much more mature than who he was as a kid, and so that's.
Did you guys fight as a kid or something? You just didn't like him?
No, I did like him, but it was one of those things, as women, we're ready before men are.
Yeah.
And that's why my ex-husband was 7 years older than me. But now the only way that you can be, for me, the only way that you can be in relationship with someone that's your peer, you have to wait for the man to mature, because as a woman, we're ready in our teens and 20s, but they need that time.
So how long have you guys been together?
It's been 12 years now.
Oh my gosh, you've been with him 12 years? I didn't realize it'd been that long.
Yeah, I had a husband, and then I've had this relationship, and you know, there's children involved, and I used to think, oh, we're gonna have this big, beautiful, blended family, but the hard truth is men want their own children, and I have to understand and respect that. So I have to finish the job that I started. I'm grateful. My ex-husband and I are 20 minutes apart. He's remarried. His new wife is great to the boys, so we co-parent. But with kids in high school, you know, I'll be able to live my life soon.
What were some of the challenges that came with having like a mixed family?
Well, one of the hardest things for me, and the boy's stepmom is great. She does a lot for the boys that she doesn't have to. But if I'm being honest, my pride kind of got in the way because I'm their mother and their dad treats me as mom. But when they're over there, she has a voice and a say-so. And when we got divorced, I was single, my ex-husband was single, and so we just made decisions with each other. And then once he got remarried, I would say, hey, can we work out this scheduling thing or this school event or whatever? Let me talk to the missus and I'll get back to you. And I was kind of like,
Oh, you didn't like that?
no.
Because a lot of times I think people think it's going to just be an easy ride, but like I see it with my older sister, had 2 kids and then she remarried and then got like and it's tough, the blending of families.
Yeah.
So how did you guys end up making it work?
Well, you have to put the children first. And when I got divorced, whatever happened between me and my ex-husband, I told him this. I said, I take that to my grave. You are their father, and the relationship that you have with them will be the one that you all create. I'll never get in the middle of that. I think it's just separating your relationship from him with his relationship with the kids. So it's really another one of those decisions. It's just maturity and just saying, you know what, this is what's best for the kids, because kids do need both parents. And I'm a boy mom. I have 2 sons, and so I know I can only be mom. They're as big as me, you know. They listen to their dad in a different way than the way they listen to me, and I'm so glad, because I had some single girlfriends when the divorce happened that were ready to rah and kick up the dust. I'm like, no, we're not doing that. This is their father, and you have no idea how much you're going to need him, and I'm so glad that we have a good relationship.
Have you ever thought about like leaving your job altogether?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm hoping maybe this will be my exit plan. But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of phasing out. So I've been corporate since college, working in technology. I'm in a masculine environment. It's data driven. It's highly competitive. It's long hours. So at least now I'm out of the office. So that was one step away. Now I work 100% remote, so I can work from wherever. So that allows me to have that flexibility. I never want to go back into the office. So I feel like I should work as long as the boys are in school. And I think our boys are probably going to take the military route because they need some extra maturity. And so in a few years, you know, I might be able to step away completely.
Do you think that corporate is a bad, like, would you go down the corporate path again if you had to do it again?
Yes, but with very clear intentions as to why. If you don't control your corporate career, it will control you. And I learned that long after. Meaning, I would probably go into corporate to get some skills, you know. I mean, corporate America has been great for me. Paid for my MBA, great benefits, all of that. But it's cost a lot as well. So I would have a timeline, especially if I were married. Work out a timeline with your husband when you can set it down, because my guy and I now, we have a plan where by 55 I should be able to walk away. I'll take it, you know, it's better than 65 if I were doing it alone. So yes, I would go with intention of how long you're going to make it work, because I think if you ask anybody who's been corporate, after about 10 years, you've seen it all. The restructuring, the layoff, the new leadership, you know, the changing of mission and goals. It's wash and rinse and repeat. But get as much as you can and bring those skills into something that will benefit your family and your home.
Maggie's the sweetest. Maggie's the sweetest. I really enjoyed how self-aware she was and how she really went through life and took lessons along with her and didn't blame anyone else but herself and learned from those and became a better person. I thought her life story, I thought it was beautiful, actually.
She is so nice. I didn't know what to expect. Maybe I thought she'd be a little bit full of herself, but she's really sweet and humble, so generous in person.
Have you ever worked corporate?
2 years.
Ah.
Yeah, I hated it though. I mean, I sold copiers, so it was sales. I was the only girl in the office.
See?
And it's funny, I didn't realize you're actually treated a lot better as a girl. And this is like the first time I was ever told about like female privilege, in my opinion, anyways. Because everyone would help me, and like I just feel like as a woman, like men are just more willing to help you, where the guys they're like just figure it out, like.
Absolutely.
And I remember I had two coworkers, and they were like, oh, like this guy named Andy only helps you because you're a girl, and I was like, no, didn't I? Just because I'm so pleasant. And they're like, yeah, okay. And then I started thinking about it. I was like, oh, like he does. That like they all, and it's not like a creepy thing. It's just like men, I feel like, have this innate instinct to just like help you.
Absolutely, I would agree, and I think we should let them. You've made a comment about it's easier or it's better, or you get more help as a woman from men.
Yeah. Oh.
But not from women.
Oh yeah. I didn't have any women in the office.
Okay. Yeah. It's very different, and I've had some very good female managers, but it is very rare. I think the corporate America, for me, I started to put on that masculine kind of competitive, because that's just what I thought you needed to do to be successful. But yes, I've had some really good male managers kind of help coach me, take me aside, give me the, the advice or the correction or whatever that I needed. And I'm here for it. I absolutely love it. You can open doors and do whatever, but I'm a Southern girl, so I'm used to it.